Welcome to the Build Your Coaching Business Around the 9 to 5 podcast. I'm your coach, Pamella Pritchard, and I help you go from employee to business owner. Whether you're creating your first client or learning how to create clients on repeat whilst holding down your day job, I'll help you make your business dreams a reality. Let's begin. Welcome to the first episode. We're kicking off with the decision to go all in as a coach. I want to talk to you today about what that really means and how the all-in mindset could be the game changer you're looking for to really get your coaching business off the ground. I also want to talk about what being all in isn't, because when I started my coaching business, I got it in my head and in my heart that going all in meant leaving my day job, quitting before I was ready, and putting all of my eggs into the basket of expecting my coaching business to be able to sustain me financially, to give me everything that I felt like I deserved and needed and wanted at the time. And the truth is, I wasn't ready for what hit me when I quit my corporate career of 11 years and went full-time into my coaching business, thinking that it was a declaration to the universe to prove that I was ready and able, and I was in for a shock when I made the decision to quit, had a long notice period because it was 3 months, and then my boss asked me to stay for another month to help her out, and I expected that when I was full-time in my business, I would suddenly have an influx of clients, make my 6-figure months, and be the successful coach that I secretly desired to be. Here's the thing. Nobody really warned me about what being an all-in coach really means. It's something that I think gets thrown around quite a lot in the coaching industry, and the whole lifestyle, the dream, the digital nomad, the 4-hour work week, miracle morning, going all in on your dreams and your hopes for the future and not really having a plan and not really having the business fundamentals in place puts unprecedented expectation and exceptional amounts of pressure on you to perform before your business is ready. So this is what I want to talk to you about, because I fell for it. I went all in and went full-time into my coaching business. And I realized much further down the line that I wasn't really all in, that going all in certainly was not a big declaration. It certainly didn't really require me to be full-time in my coaching business. And this is exactly why I do the work that I do. I historically helped clients in purpose and fulfillment and burnout and career change. And so it was no surprise to me when my clients were primarily professionals who wanted to become life coaches. And as I was going into this niche and naturally attracting clients in this space, I realized that I wasn't the only one with this mentality. And even though I have obviously eventually made it work, and I now have a thriving coaching practice, and I work with the most incredible soul clients, and I specifically help professionals transition into being a full-time coach and business owner, these are some of the things that I observe all the time in the coaching industry. It isn't just me, and it certainly isn't just you. It is so normal to want to be a full-time coach, to want to live the dream life, to become a digital nomad, move to Bali and do all the things. And I just want to invite you to join me on this podcast as I speak candidly about what it takes to really start and grow a thriving coaching business around the 9 to 5, about the things that you probably want to be thinking about, and the things like this, such as going all in on your coaching business, about what that really means and what that means for you and how you can go all in today. So, as I've already alluded to, going all in is not quitting your job and being full-time in your coaching business. Not straight away, maybe not even at all. Going all in doesn't require you to take any big declarations, to prove anything to the universe, because the universe doesn't work like that. And it doesn't mean that you burn your bridges, you don't have a plan B, that you take massive risks beyond what you're financially and personally capable of sustaining. And it certainly isn't a binary, obsolete, all or nothing action. This is what going all in really means. All in is a mindset. Let that sink in for a second. Going all in is just a thought. It is a thought. It is a way of being. It is an intention. It is a decision. It is therefore then a commitment to uphold. It is a shift in your self-concept. It is your vision. It is committing to the excitement and the trust and the work of what it takes to really be all in. So this is what it looks like when you're actually all in on your coaching business. It looks like not skirting around the edges. And the ways that you might be skirting around the edges is not even owning that you're a life coach or calling yourself a life coach or whatever niche coach you are. Not really seeing your coaching as a business and not seeing it as a entity where you are providing invaluable, life-changing, priceless services to other people, where you are in a position of influence. It might be that you're not really planning for the future, that you're still thinking of your current career as the career that you're probably always going to be in, and you haven't really sat down and contemplated what the implications are if your coaching seriously does take off, and if you really were all in, how that could impact your career trajectory in the future. It also looks like not really committing, such as not making investments, not getting the sales training, the fundamental business skills that you need to build a coaching business, to get clients reliably, to write powerful copy, to show up and be visible in your business. Also, not committing looks like not really investing in your own personal development and growth. And that's separate to the business skills that you want to be developing. And in truth, a good business program will offer you both. Mine certainly does. Because there is nothing as confronting and as challenging and as demanding on your nervous system, on your self-concept, on the way that you up-level and think about the world and see possibilities and be in a growth mindset and look at opportunity instead of looking at reasons to stay small, as there is when you start and grow a business of any kind. So making investments, putting some skin in the game, putting some money down, committing your time, making choices like saying no to that extra glass of wine because you want to be fresh the next day so that you can show up powerfully for your clients or for your marketing or absorb as much information as you can in that training. Maybe it's making decisions about not spending the kind of money that you're used to spending on material items because you want to be investing in your business, in your personal growth. Instead of looking at the expense of investing and what are you going to get out of investing, thinking about ROI and seeing your 9 to 5 as the seed money for your coaching business. Having that level of financial security and support to help you on your way as you do something that you've never done before. Notice how none of these things are about leaving your 9 to 5 before you're ready. And notice how you can do all of these things in this very moment. So, some things for you to think about as you move forward with your new self-awareness about what it is to truly be all in on your business. It is getting the support that you need to manage the 9 to 5 if you're struggling with the expanded or the heightened or the elevated contrast that being in your 9 to 5 is giving you. I certainly experienced this when I was starting and growing my coaching business and I was still in my corporate career. And it was ultimately the thing that unraveled me. I didn't invest in coaching at the time. I didn't invest in private one-to-one. I didn't invest in business fundamentals. And what that left me with was feeling frustrated that I couldn't survive the 9 to 5, that it was taking me away from my true purpose, that I was constantly having to compromise and it was sucking the soul out of me. And the contrast compared to how incredible I felt when I was coaching and how incredible it felt to make some money in my coaching business and how deeply I desperately wanted to be full-time in my coaching business, the contrast became bigger and bigger and bigger. And because I didn't have any mindset support, because I was relying on the friendship of my coach friends and of my peers and my partner, who ultimately, as much as he loves me and supports me, isn't a coach, nobody was able to really give me the grounding and the mindset shifts that I needed to enable me to stay in my 9 to 5 long enough to allow my business to grow to a point where it was actually sustainable. Because what happened was when I left my 9 to 5, I then had a period of recovery from my 9 to 5, which meant I wasn't able to show up as powerfully in my business, which meant that there was actually a massive time lag between making some money in my coaching business and being in my 9 to 5 to then having a dip in my revenue and then having all of that pressure that I was putting on my coaching business to sustain me when I should have just stayed in my 9 to 5 a little bit longer. So this is exactly why I do what I do. This is exactly why I've started this podcast, because if you're seeing your story in mine, then it's not that I want to stop you from making empowered choices. Of course I want you to make empowered choices. I guess my invitation is because I thought at the time going all in by quitting my 9 to 5 and my corporate established career of 12 years was an empowered choice, but it wasn't. And I think that was the ultimate, the shift that I'm inviting you into here. It's really looking at the choices that you are being led or tempted to make right now, and asking yourself, is this me just desperately wanting it? Or is this really in my empowerment? Because it does show up in disguise. We think big declarations, we think burning our bridges, we think having a fresh start in our coaching business is what we need, when in actual fact, we need to get clear on so many fundamentals within our coaching business, which I'm not going to go into right now. But if we can set the foundations and the fundamentals of our coaching business whilst we have the financial security and stability of our 9 to 5, then it will set you up for even faster, accelerated success when you decide to leave. Because leaving, like I did, a little bit too soon, without the business proof of concept that it could work and that I knew exactly what to do to create clients, you're adding a hell of a lot of pressure onto your coaching business to do that for you before it's ready. Versus staying in the 9 to 5, getting the support you need, and then building your coaching business to a position where the transition is natural and it's a no-brainer. And in fact, it makes more business sense to be in your business more hours than you are in your 9 to 5. And there's so many gray areas with this. So many of my clients choose to go to 4 days a week, 3 days a week. Some completely reshape what their 9 to 5 looks like. There are so many different options available to you beyond quitting and going full time. And my mission with this podcast is to give you the options, to give you the empowerment, and to give you the mindset shifts that will serve you in making aligned, empowered decisions that set you up for sustainable success in the long run as you grow your coaching business around the 9 to 5. So, I hope this podcast has landed and it's giving you lots of food for thought. Drop me a DM on Instagram. Let me know what your key takeaways were. Let me know if this was helpful. And if you have any specific questions, anything you want me to bring to the podcast, I am absolutely here for it. This podcast is designed to serve you, to set you up for success, and to help you think and consider the right things so that when you make moves in your business, you're doing it from an empowered place, no matter what. So you can find me on Instagram at coachingwithpamella.com. And if you want to take this work at a deeper level, you can work with me in 2 ways. You can download my free resources bundle at my website, www.coachingwithpamella.com. That's 2 L's. And you can download the instant access free resources bundle there. Or you can go ahead and book a consult today to work with me one-to-one for 6 months with personalized coaching to support you as you build your coaching business around the 9 to 5. And you can also book your free consult there on my website at www.coachingwithpamella.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you next time. Have a beautiful day.